With an overwhelming amount of characters in Warhammer Tacticus, who should we be leveling first? And what should be your first goals as a new Warhammer Tacticus player? Today we're going to explore possible answers to these questions together. Hello everyone. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war, and it's a war between your Tacticus characters to decide who gets to level up. When you're getting started, there's an overwhelming number of characters and it can be really tough to work out what is best to do. If you're anything like me, you'll end up trying to level everyone at the same time and never really getting anywhere, except coming under fire from all sides, just like poor Bellator here. In a previous video, we introduced our character planner and discussed how it helps you focus your character leveling. Now we're going to explore some possible early goals for you to aim at and explain why they're important. Then you can use the sheet to reach those. Before we begin, I want to share something that I see new players missing out on a lot, and I definitely missed out on this too. There's a big difference between which campaign missions you should do to get your upgrade items from. If we go into one of the early Indomitus campaign missions to get a common upgrade, you can see that you have a 75% chance to get this reward and it costs 5 energy. Now let's move further into the Indomitus campaign and we can see that the common upgrade still has a 75% chance to get the rewards, but now costs 6 energy. So worse odds overall. Finally, let's take a look at the Indomitus Mirror campaign. Here a common upgrade has an 83% chance and also costs 6 energy. This is roughly equivalent to the early Indomitus campaign. I will go through a full statistical breakdown in a future video, but for now just follow this advice. To get common and uncommon upgrades, use the Mirror campaign or Indomitus early. For rare, epic and legendary upgrades, use the Elite campaign. So now that you're armed with this knowledge, we can move on to our first potential goal. Our first goal is a simple one. Level 3 characters from the same campaign to Silver 1. This first goal will give you a head start on the other goals. When you reach Silver 1, your characters will receive quite a boost, and this will carry them forwards for quite some time. It is usually enough to get them to the last page of the campaign, and in some cases finish the campaign. Sometimes you don't even need to get all 3 to Silver 1, so keep pushing as far as you can through the campaigns until you get stuck. So which characters are these? The 3 characters you need for each released campaign is as follows. For the basic campaigns, Indomitus, Bellator, Certus and Varro, Fall of Cadia, Angrax, Archimatos and Harkin, Octarius, Gibascraps, Snappa Rekka and Boss Golgorts, Sameham, Calandis, Athena and Eldrion. For the mirror campaigns, Indomitus, Makotep, Imospec and Aleph Null, Fall of Cadia, Cut Skoden, Sybil Divine and Thaddeus, Octarius, Brother Butchered, Sword Brother Godswill and Ancient Thoriad. And wow, that's already 21 characters. That's a huge amount. So we should probably focus a little bit. The simple answer is just level whoever you have out of these 21 characters. So for example, ones you definitely have are Varro, Bellator and Certus. And these 3 are going to be useful throughout your career, whether it's in legendary events or character missions, they're still relevant in most players' teams somehow. It's also good to grind them early because they are the most expensive characters to level. We'll do a comparison of character leveling costs in a future video to show you the differences of all characters, but if you look at these 3 specifically, it will take you around 6 or 7 days each to level them up to Silver 1. So back to our goal list. The second goal is to use your current characters to open up new characters and campaigns. As you level your first set of characters up and push through their campaign, you will start to fight their campaign bosses. Beating them gives you their shards, and once you have enough of their shards, you open up that character. For me, as an early player, I wanted to open as many characters as I could, so every day I would focus on trying to open 2 new characters. With a 33% chance to get their shards, you get an average of 3 shards per day. It will take a while to get some of these characters, so definitely get started soon and prioritize the 21 characters we mentioned. One important tip, the first time you beat a boss, you will get a difficult mission that you only have 24 hours to complete. Make sure that you complete these missions because they'll give you incredibly important requisition scrolls. And these are used to gather new characters, so don't do what I did and not bother with these missions. Really prioritize them. All of this will eventually allow you to open up more characters, the important mirror campaigns, and eventually elite campaigns. The third and last goal I'll talk about today is build Imperial, Xenos, and Chaos teams to Gold 1. This is a midterm focus, and I don't want to go too much further than this because this is already going to take you quite some time to get there. For example, if we look again at the planner, we'll see it's roughly 13 to 15 days each to bring Bellator, Certus and Varys from Stone 1 to Gold 1. If we're then talking about 15 characters to gold 1, that's around 195 days. That's a serious investment, and so just realize that this is a game that will take time to play. Make sure you enjoy the journey and don't let yourself get frustrated. Anyway, once I had some characters to silver 1, I sat down with my legendary event Google Sheet, which you'll find a link to below, and started to see who are the most important characters in the game. For me, legendary events were really important because I wanted to be able to open up all the new characters as quickly as possible. I figure that in the long term it's better to have characters now rather than getting a slightly higher place in arena or tournaments. So looking at the overall column, we can see that from the characters I own, the top 5 are Calandus, Makotep, Snapareka, Ravus, and Gibascraps. But I went a bit further than that and wrote down the top 15. Then I cross-referenced these with the campaign characters. Finally, I thought about my arena team and guild raid teams that I wanted to use and added them into consideration. My final list of characters looked like this. Now, I don't actually have 5 Chaos characters in there, and that's because I don't feel there was a really great options outside of Nauseus and Angrax, but I'll eventually aim for them. So that was my goal I set for myself back at the start of May. It's now the end of June, so how have I gotten on? Well, 6 of them are gold, and the rest are at least silver 1 if not higher. I'm really happy with my progress, and it's taken me 3 months to go from having no idea to being on the edge of opening legendary characters. So with a little planning and some help from my sheet, you can get this type of focus too. And that's it. There is so much more I could talk about here, but I'll continue to cover more details in future videos, including looking at passives, actives, the goals 4 to 6, and more. If you find this content useful, you can use my referral code in-game to get 100 free blackstone. Finally, if you have any topics you'd like me to explore or any feedback for the video, then just write to me in the comments below.